All right, everybody. Well, we're working with the spine this month, so we're going to be working on our lateral bending tonight. So lots of side-to-side bending. We will be starting in a seat. So if you are comfortable in the seat that you're in, you're welcome to stay there. If you want to throw a block underneath the booty for some extra height, if you want to fold your blanket up for some extra cushion and put it underneath of you, you're welcome to do that. Allow yourself to be comfortable. If you're joining from home, 2 blocks, 1 blanket for practice tonight. You're welcome to allow your eyelids to become heavy or close them altogether. We'll take this time at the beginning of class to bring ourselves into this space, to bring yourself into the awareness of your breath and all of the subtle movements that your body makes as you breathe. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And start to notice the rhythm of your breath without changing it. On your next inhale, try to fill your lungs up just a little bit more. And see how slowly you can release that air back out into the world. Notice if the following breath can become a little bit deeper, fuller, and slower. Our yoga practice is rooted very deeply in breath work, also known as pranayama, which is what we're doing here by bringing awareness to our breath. And by stillness and meditation. So if you choose to come back to this space at any point in your practice and spend time here, know that you are full well still in your yoga practice. You have my permission to come back to this space whenever you want. Sit out anything that doesn't serve you tonight. Add in anything that you'd like. Want a little bit of movement into our spine with our breath. So on your inhale, arch through your spine, lift your chest, lift your chin. With your exhale, round through your spine, tuck your chin, pull your shoulder blades wide away from your spine. Use your inhale to come back to your seated cow, puff the chest forward. Your exhale, round into a seated cat. Start to move through these shapes at your own pace. Often throughout our day, we keep our spine in the same position. And so when we are working with this spine, it can take several movements, several breaths for us to find the mobility, the movement, the fluidity in the spine, the muscles that surround it, all of the ligaments. The next time that you come forward and puff forward, start to take it a little bit over to the right so that you start to arch to the left. So a little side bend to the left, bringing your left shoulder and armpit down towards your left hip a little bit. And then round through your back, tuck your chin. And then we side bend through the right side of our body, puff out your left rib cage through the side of your body. And then again, come around front, puff the chest up. And we keep making these circles, these revolutions clockwise around our mat. Next time that you arrive at the front with the chest opening, you'll reverse the revolution. So we'll pull right armpit towards right hip, puff the left rib cage open, and round through the back. We switch to puffing right rib cage open towards the side wall, crunching left side, and then through center. Next time that you arrive at the front, opening across the heart space, return to neutral spine. And take a deep, full breath in here. Let something go with your exhale. And take a little inventory of your spine and notice if there is any subtle changes from when we started. It's okay if there's not. From here, your left leg will extend long in front of you. We'll bend our right knee and open it out towards the white wall. Turn over your long extended leg, reach your arms overhead, and then fold over that leg. Bringing your head towards your knee. There is no bonus points for head touching knee. From here, we add a little side bend by reaching your right arm up so that your chest starts to open up towards the white wall. Notice if your right booty starts to want to lift away from the mat, can you actively press it back down towards the earth? And then reach the right arm up, 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 maybe over towards your extended toes, arching, opening up through your right rib cage. Big breath in here. You'll cartwheel that hand up and around. Right hand lands several inches behind your hips. Flatten the palm. Then reach your left hand all the way up. You can stay here opening the chest or engage through the core and the glutes and lift the hips up off of the mat. So you'll be on your right knee and your left foot. Lots of core work here. Squeeze the glutes as you open up across the hips. One more big breath in. Really slowly lower your booty back down to the mat. Both legs extend straight in front of you. Arms sweep up overhead, and then you fold towards your legs. Play with the bend in your knees and see what amount of bend in your knees through your hamstrings, how that affects sensation in your low back. They are connected. One more big breath in here. Slowly come back up to a sit. This time, your left knee bends and opens up towards the pink wall. Turn over your extended leg, reach your arms overhead, and fold towards it. Bringing head towards knee. Again, no bonus points here. You're welcome to stay with the chest facing the ground or reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Actively press your left booty down into the mat. Feel a spread through your left rib cage. Maybe your top hand reaches forward, past your ear. Big breath in. cartwheel the left hand all the way up, plant it behind you, spread your fingers, reach your right hand high, either booty stays down or you lift it up. Feel your heart starting to open towards the ceiling, a little back bend. One more breath in. Slowly lower back down to your mat. You'll sweep your legs out behind you. We're going to spend some time on our knees. So as we find tabletop, you may want to take your blanket and unfold it so that it comes underneath of your knees, especially if your knees do not like to be on a hard surface. Spread your fingers really, really wide on the mat. Add cats and cows here to your breath. Arch through your spine. Look forward as you inhale. And with your exhale, round. Spread your shoulder blades wide. Tuck the hips under you. Start to move to your own breath through these two shapes. When we were seated, there was a limited amount of movement available in our pelvic floor, in our hips, but as we're in this tabletop, we can find the tilt of our pelvis. We can find that arching and rounding through the lumbar spine down a little bit into the sacrum. Take 2 more rounds here. After your second round, neutralize your spine, spread your fingers wide, press every knuckle down into the mat, strong to protect your wrists. And then you'll curl under your toes, hover your knees just an inch off of the mat, and feel how your core lights up with strength. A big breath in. Downward facing dog, your hips move up and back. Pull your chest towards your toes and bend into your knees to allow yourself to really lift your hips up and back. You are welcome to pedal out your heels, bend your knees, shake your head, whatever movement feels good for your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Rise up to your tiptoes, look towards your hands. Walk your feet forward, folding at the top of your mat. Drop your head. Halfway lift, hands can come to shins or knees. A little tiny bend in your knees. We don't lock out our joints. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Gaze goes straight down to the ground, a long neck. Big breath in. Fold forward, drop your head. 2 more of those with your breath, working on that muscle memory. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward. Again, gaze straight down at the ground. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Stand all the way up, the arms sweeping overhead. Your left hand grabs your right wrist and starts to pull it up, up, up as you start to arch over towards the pink wall, opening up through the right side of your rib cage. Press the outer edge of your right foot into the mat. Big breath in here. Come back up through center. We flip the grip. Right hand grabs left wrist, pull up, and then reach over to the right side of the room. Can you breathe a little bit more into your left lung as you inhale? Exhale back up to a tall spine. One more breath in here to reach high. Fold forward, soft bend in your knees to keep your low back happy. Halfway lift, inhale. High push up, plant your hands, step your feet to the back of your mat. You are welcome to drop your knees in this one or any that we take tonight. Spread your fingers wide. Slowly lower all the way down to your mat. Your elbows point towards the back of the room, not to the side walls. We land on our belly. Straighten your legs, squeeze your glutes. Your hands slide back so they're next to your rib cage. Palms down, elbows squeeze back. Lift your head, lift your chest. baby cobra. Squeeze your glutes. So we're just lifting a little. Arms are still bent, elbows still point back. And then lower all the way back down, really easing into this for our back. Again, inhale, lift slightly. Squeeze your glutes to protect the low back. No compression there. And then lower all the way down. You're welcome to stick with this. Or if you straighten the arms for up dog, your hips must lift off of the mat to keep that compression out of the low back. Putting the weight on the knees and the feet. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Breathe in. Breathe out. On your inhale, rise up to your toes. Look forward, walk your feet up to your hands and fold at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, soft bend in your knees. Fold forward. Stand all the way up, sweep your arms overhead. Left hand grabs your right wrist. Lean to the left, the pink wall. Stretch through your right rib cage. And come back up through center. We switch sides. Right hand grabs left wrist and we lean over towards the white wall. Breathe into your left lung. Come back up through center. Straighten up, reach, big breath in. Fold forward, soft bend in the knees to allow the low back to release. Drop your head. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant your hands, step back to your high push-up, knees on or off of the mat. Slowly lower to your degree or all the way down to the belly. Hands slide back by your rib cage. You lift either head and chest or all the way up. Straight arms, hips lift. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time through our sun A. Rise up to toes. Walk your feet forward. Fold. Halfway lift. Lengthen. Fold forward. Stand, reach, rise. Fill your lungs up. Right hand grabs left wrist. Lift up and then over. Slowly release. Switch hands. Reach over the opposite direction. Release as you stand tall. Lift up. Use your exhale to fold forward when you're ready. Soft bend in the knees. Halfway lift. Lengthen. Plant your hands. Step back. High push up. Lower slow with your strength. On your inhale, up dog or cobra, squeeze the glutes, protect the low back. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Big breath in. Maybe you sigh, let it go with your exhale. If you moved your blanket off your mat, because I know it was a little early for me to have you move it there, go ahead, slide it back on, because our knees are going to come back down to the mat now. A big breath in your down dog. Tabletop with the knees hovering. We've been here before. Toes stay curled under. Shift shoulders over top of wrists. Spread your fingers wide. The lower the knees go to the blanket without touching, the more you are working the body here. Some of us might want to step our feet up so the knees land right underneath of the hips. Yes, good. One more breath in. Slowly lower your knees to the blanket or mat. On your inhale, arch through your spine. Cow. Exhale, round into cat. Neutralize your spine. Right arm reaches out to the right towards the white wall and starts to reach all the way up towards the ceiling. We add a twist to our spine. Thread the needle. The right hand slides behind your left wrist and your right shoulder comes down onto the mat. Part of our side bends is creating space through the side of our body. So imagine your hip creases moving up and back so that you're lengthening out through your right and left rib cage. One more breath in here. If you have any half bind, bring your left hand back down to your mat. You'll unwind this threaded needle. Right hand goes back up and you open up towards the white wall. You'll slide your right leg back for a side plank variation. For balance here, you might swing your foot, your left foot, towards the pink wall. And then you are welcome to keep your right foot planted on the mat or float it off of the mat and float your top hand forward. Can you create some length through the right side body while still engaging your core? Big breath in. Right foot lands on the mat again. If your left knee isn't on the mat, go ahead, drop it, because the next shape we move to is gates. You will use the core to lift yourself up. Tall spine, arms wide. Beautiful. Your front left hand will sweep all the way up as you reverse your gait. You're going to really extend through the front rib cage. That side body stretch coming back into play here. One more big breath in. And then we will shift ourselves to face a little bit towards the back room. So you're going to turn your right toes to face the back of the room. Bend into your right knee. Arms go back out wide. This is our baby warrior 2. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. We keep the legs as they are. Reach your right hand all the way up. We again, side body bend, open up through your right rib cage. Reach more up than back with your big breath in. Cartwheel your hands down to the back of your mat. You'll shift your left foot to the top of your mat and then walk your right foot over towards the pink wall as we find lizard. Hands come inside of your back foot and you can drop the pelvic floor down towards the mat. Beautiful. Lots of breath in this hip opener. One more inhale here. Exhale. Think about your inner thighs hugging together. You'll curl under your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Step your hands slightly forward. Standing split. Your left leg reaches all the way up. Your head drops down. A big breath in here. Left foot to the mat next to your right. Halfway lift. Inhale. Fold forward. Stand all the way up. Sweep your arms overhead. Fold back down to your mat. Soft bend in your knees. Halfway lift. High push up. Same thing. We're just facing the other side of the room. Step your feet back. Lower slow. Knees can be on or off of the mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Squeeze the glutes. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Floating at tabletop, you shift your weight forward so your shoulders land over your wrists, and then you might slide the knees forward so they're underneath of your hips. They're floating off of the mat. A big breath in. Slowly drop them all the way down. As you inhale, arch through your spine, look forward, and then round, tuck your chin. Neutralize your spine. This time it's the left arm that goes out towards that white wall again and starts to twist up and open. Thread the needle. Left shoulder coming all the way down to the mat as you find your twist. Feel your hips lifting up and back. Lengthen through both sides of your waist. One more breath here. Your right hand reconnects with the earth. Spread the fingers. We unwind this. Left hand comes back up. We open the chest to the left wall. Slide your left leg back. Side plank variation. How light can you get on your right arm and through your right shoulder? Bring the work into your core. Maybe you float your long leg. Maybe your top hand reaches forward. You extend through your left side body. Big breath in. And your top leg, again, plants on the mat. From here, core strong, lift straight up, gates. Beautiful. Turn your left toes so they face the white wall. The foot is parallel to the front of your mat. Then your right hand will reach up, open up through the right rib cage as you reverse your gates. We're worrying more about reaching up than reaching over. Yeah, go for the length. Big breath in here. Come back to gate, hands wide. We turn our left toes to face forward, bend into your left knee as we move into our baby warrior 2. Yes, beautiful. Feel the opening through your left hip. Imagine your glutes firm so that you can really press the front of your left hip towards the white wall. Keep the legs as they are. Reverse your warrior. Left hand slides up. You open up through your left rib cage. Big breath in. Cartwheel both your hands down to the top of your mat. Low lizard lunge. Your right leg shifts towards the back of the room. Your left foot walks over towards the pink wall, so hands come between. Beautiful. You can slide your right knee back on the mat if you'd like. Scoot your hips down and forward. Breathe into this stretch. One more big breath here. We bring some strength back into the legs by hugging inner thighs towards each other. Curl under your back toes, lift your back knee. Walk the hands slightly forward, standing split. Back leg lifts all the way up. Drop your head down towards your standing leg. Lift your right leg as high as you can towards the ceiling for one more breath in. And both of your feet land on the mat. Fold. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Fold forward. Stand all the way up. Sweep your arms overhead. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Open your chest. Fold back down towards your mat. Soft bend in your knees. Halfway lift. Inhale. Plant your hands, step back, high push up, knees on or off of the mat. Low push up or lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, squeeze your glutes. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. From here, shift forward, floating tabletop. Knees floating off of the mat, shoulders stacked over your wrists. A big breath in it. Lower the knees all the way down. Inhale for a cow, arch through your spine. Cat, exhale. Neutralize your spine. Right arm reaches out towards the white wall. Starts to twist you up. Thread your needle. Land here for a breath. You slowly unwind this shape. Again, open your chest towards the white wall. Slide your right leg back. Or side plank variation. You might float your right leg off of the mat, reach your top hand towards the front of the room, feel the length through the right side rib cage. And then from here we change it up a little bit. You'll pull your right knee towards your right elbow, side crunch. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, side crunch. One more time like that. Inhale, lengthen. This time, as you side crunch, hold the side crunch in, and then step your right foot all the way up towards the front of your mat. Both hands drop down light. Curl under your back toes, lift up, high lunge. Arms can sweep high, come to your hips. We're bending into our front knee for our lunge stance. Back heel is lifted off of the mat. You're on the ball of your foot. All of your toes face forward. Lots of breath here. Feel the strength of your legs. One more big breath in. Warrior 2, front leg stays, left foot opens to the pink wall, arms reach out, one front, one left, or one back. Left toes point towards the pink wall, so your back foot is parallel, beautiful. You might play with the distance between your feet, maybe take it a little bit wider, bend a little bit more into your front knee, take it a little bit narrower, you choose this shape. Engage through your arms, reach them so far from each other. Beautiful. Keep the legs as they are. Reverse your warrior. Your front hand sweeps up, legs stay. If you come out of the bend in your front knees, sink a little bit deeper. Use your breath. One more big breath in. And then from here, cartwheel your hands down to the top of your mat. You have two options. You can either find that standing split that we found before, lifting your left leg high, or grab one of your blocks and move into balancing half moon. If it's balancing half moon, block under your right hand. Open yourself up towards the pink wall. Beautiful. Squeeze muscle on your legs. Wherever you are, it's your practice. One more breath in your shape. We all fold, feet together, drop your head. Halfway lift, inhale, fold forward. Stand all the way up, reach your arms overhead. And fold forward, drop your head at the bottom. Soft bend in your knees, halfway lift, breathe in. High push up, plant your hands, step back. Strong as you lower slow, a little or all the way to the mat. Up dog or cobra, glutes strong. Downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Shift forward, floating table. You might have to walk your feet forward a little bit to put your knees right under your hips as you hover them off of the mat. Big breath in here. Lower your knees all the way to the mat. A cat and a cow to your breath. Neutralize your spine. The left arm reaches out towards the pink wall and then up towards the ceiling for your twist. Thread the needle. Land in it for a breath. You slowly unwind this shape, open back up towards the pink wall. Left leg straightens behind you. Side plank variation. If you'd like to float your left foot and reach your left hand forward, find length through your left side body, and just think this is like you're balancing half moon, but you're on your knee instead of your foot. We find that crunch. Inhale for length, exhale knee to elbow, hug the side body. 2 more times with your breath. Try not to dump your weight into your right shoulder. On your 3rd time, pull your left foot up to the top of your mat. Curl your back toes under, lunge. Lift our back knee up with strength. All of the toes face forward. If we're feeling a little bit wobbly, we can walk our left foot over towards the pink wall, right foot towards the white wall. Bend into your front knee, so strong. Arms can go overhead or at your hips. Back heel lifted, ball of your foot pressing down, heel pressing back even though it's not touching the mat. One more big breath in here. Warrior 2, you open towards the white wall. Your back toes face the white wall. Beautiful. Play with your stance. Sometimes we need a longer stance in our Warrior 2 than we had on our lunge, sometimes shorter. Soften your shoulders, but spread the fingers. Reach the arms. Reverse your warrior. The front hand sweeps up. Open up through the front rib cage. Re-bend into your front knee. Feel the strength of your legs. Big breath in here. Cartwheel the hands down. They either come to the mat as you find your standing split, the back right leg going as high as you can, or your left hand drops to your block as you move into balancing half moon. Right hand sweeps up, chest and hips open to the white wall. Your choice, your practice. Wherever you are, one more big breath in. Fold the feet, find the mat. Soft bend in your knees, drop your head. Walk your feet out right and left, maybe wider than your mat or as wide as your mat. Really bend into your knees. And you can either fold your hands into opposite elbow creases for ragdoll, or let your arms hang heavy and feel the friction on your spine, being pulled on by the weight of your head as it drops towards the earth. Maybe you sway a little left and right. Maybe you shake your head out, yes and no. Notice the amount of bend in your knees and how it affects a release or tension in your low back. One more breath in here. Release your hands down. Bring your feet underneath of your hips, closer together. Halfway lift, lengthen. Fold forward. Stand all the way up the last time, maybe a big back bend at the top, maybe lift up your heels, come to your toes, your choice, your shape, and fold back down to the mat, drop your head. Halfway lift, breathe in, plant your hands high, push up, stay in it. Straight arms, push yourself away from the ground. Maybe the knees drop to the mat, maybe they don't. Find your strength in your breath. So our hips are parallel to our shoulders and our feet. We're in our high push-up. Shoulders stacked right over top of your wrists. Shift your hips forward like this. And if that doesn't work, drop your knees down to the mat. Good. Take another big full breath in here. Slowly to your own 5 count, lower all the way down to your belly. When you arrive, turn your head to one side, let your arms go wherever you feel comfortable, maybe under your head or back by your sides. Find rest. Notice if there's been a shift in your breath. Notice if there's been a shift in your spine. Lift your head up, turn it the opposite direction, and place it back down on the mat. Continue to breathe in your rest. Notice if the rate of your breath is able to slow down at all. When you inhale, can you feel your back rising up towards the ceiling as your lungs fill with air? because we tend to breathe only into the front of our body, so we would just feel the chest and the belly pressing down against the mat here. Try to switch it and breathe into your back, breathe into your spine, lifting your spine up towards the ceiling. You are loving this breath work, this shape, this rest, you're welcome to stay in it. If you're looking for a little bit more work, we'll set up for locust. Bring your toes together to touch. Squeeze your legs together. Point your toes. Take a look down at your mat. And then flip your palms over so the thumbs face away from the body. Spread the fingers wide and reach the fingertips towards the back wall. You'll squeeze your core so strong. Hug in through the sides of the waist. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your legs together. And then on your inhale, press your hands down, press your toes down, float your head, float your chest. If your low back feels okay there, maybe you float your legs off of the mat. If your low back still feels okay, maybe you float your arms, but your gaze stays down long at your mat. Every muscle in the back of your body is firing. Your core is firing. Your breath is strong. One more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way back down to the mat. Turn your head whichever direction you'd like and rest. Set ourselves up for one more locust variation. You can stick with that first version. If you'd like a little bit more opening across the front of your body, let your hands find each other at your low back, or maybe they grab a towel or your blanket between hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, engage through your entire body to lift the head, lift the chest. Then squeeze your legs together, point the toes back like there's a rope wrapped around, reaching them back. Lots of breath here. One more inhale to lift. Slowly lower, turn your head to one side. Rest. Bring your hands by your sides. Child's pose. Press the hands down, lift yourself back. Knees can go as wide as you like. Toes can come together to touch. If you'd like a block underneath of your booty for support, or one under your head or your chest, move the props where you need them. Continue to breathe into the back of your body. You're welcome to stay here with your straight spine, or keep your hips where they are and walk both of your hands over to the right. Lower yourself back down and feel the stretch through your left side body, your left lung, expanding more than your right. Actively pull your left booty back down towards the heel. Big full breath in here. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat. Pause for a moment in your neutral spine. And then walk your hands over to the left. Keep your hips where they are. And actively breathe into the right side of your torso. right booty down towards your right heel. Another full inhale. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat. Breathe in here. Breathe out. You're welcome to stay in child's pose. Or slowly roll yourself up to a seat.
Everything I ever knew.
Bring your legs out in front of you. Bend your knees, slide your bum forward. Bring a block or two with you as you lower all the way down onto your back.
That comes from me.
Knees bent, feet underneath of your knees or a little bit forward in front of them. Supported bridge on your inhale. Float your hips up and slide a block or two underneath of your sacrum. And rest there. Your blocks can go on any height that you would like.
Let me feel the air beneath my feet. Let me go.
Allow yourself to accept the support from your block, from your mat.
And I know not everybody gets to know life. And I know not everybody gets to start over again. But I do know what I'm doing with my new life. I'll build it up, break it down, build it up. Build it up, break it down. Build it up, break it down.
3 more breaths here.
You can fly away too. That's on you. But don't tell me.
After your 3rd breath, engage your core and your glutes to lift up enough to slide the block out from under you. Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of your feet come together, booty on the ground. My knees open right and left. You can place your blocks under your knees or your thighs for some support. Hands can come either on your body wherever you'd like, or if you're warm, take them up above your head. Allow yourself to find some rest here. Dive back into your breath rhythm.
Everything I ever knew. Everything I ever know. And I know not everybody can start over again. But I do know what I'm doing with my new life. Build it up, break it down, build it up. Burn it up, break it down, build it up.
5 more breaths here.
You can fly away too. That's on you.
If this shape feels lovely for your body, you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. If you'd like to move on, bring your knees gently back together, hug them into your chest, wrap your arms around them, maybe rock and roll a little left and right. And plant your feet back flat on the mat. You'll press your feet down, lift the booty up just a smidge, and then move the booty over to the left and set it back down. You're gonna make a crooked spine for a second. We'll fix it. You'll straighten your right leg all the way down onto the mat. And then your left knee, the one that's still bent, is gonna fold over your body towards the white wall. You'll roll onto your right hip, the left hip stacking on top. And you have blocks, if you want support, you can place a block underneath of your knee, or you can let the leg hang out in space. Left shoulder presses down into the mat to really access this twist. You can bring it up in your neck by turning your head over to the left, looking at the pink wall. Big breath here. Really gently unwind your twist. Move your hips back to the center of your mat. And hug the knees into your chest, or a full body stretch, whatever allows your spine to feel like it resets. Then again, the feet land flat. We lift the booty up and move it a little bit to the right, set it back down. Straighten your left leg all the way down onto the mat. Then pick that right knee up, hug it into your chest before you let it fall over towards the pink wall, rolling onto your left hip. Feel your right shoulder blade growing heavy as it falls towards the mat. Maybe your right arm extends out towards the white wall and you turn your gaze to fall over your right fingertips. Stretch out long, arms reaching over your head towards the back of the room, legs forward, maybe point the toes, or you can hug in. Big breath where you are. Let something go with your exhale. Then we all hug the knees back in. Create this tight little ball. Maybe pull your head off the mat, nose up to your knees. A big full breath in here. Fill yourself up. Shavasana, final relaxation. You can land in any shape that serves you. Our traditional Shavasana is just arms and legs laying on the mat. Want some support for your low back, you might bend your knees a little and slide your two blocks behind your knees. If you are joining from home,